In clinical focused ultrasound procedures, the human skull bone severely compromises the efficiency of ultrasound propagation. This is because variations in skull acoustic properties cause ultrasonic waves to travel through the skull incoherently, which results in focus aberration. This necessitates low angles of incidence, high skull density ratios, and deep brain or centrally located targets to overcome skull aberrations. There is a critical and unmet need for better skull aberration correction techniques to expand the treatment envelope of transcranial focus ultrasound. Current skull aberration correction techniques are based on the use of acoustic simulations with a preoperative CT scan of the patient's skull in a technique known as virtual time reversal. Eliminating the need for preoperative CT-based aberration correction would benefit treatment planning for a number of reasons, including the amount of time that it takes for these acoustic simulations to take place, as well as minimizing the simulation errors that arise due to co-registration to the treatment positioning in situ, as well as the empirical assumptions of wave propagation that are used to scale CT Hounsfield units to acoustic density, sound speed, and attenuation. Our group has developed a multivoxel MR-ARFI based refocusing technique to enable rapid skull aberration correction in situ. First, we derive the set of complex valued acoustic pressure fields produced by each transducer element using the technique of spatially coded emissions produced by Lara in 2010. This step is performed without an aberrator in place. Next, we acquire a set of MR-ARFI images with the aberrator in place, which will be done in vivo, and then, using magnitude least squares optimization, we fit the free field complex valued acoustic pressure fields to the acquired aberrated MR-ARFI images to estimate the correcting amplitudes and phases that can be used to refocus the acoustic pressure field. Importantly, the benefit of our technique is efficiency, whereas previous techniques attempted to measure the individual acoustic pressure fields with the aberrator in place. Our method is able to estimate a set of correcting aberrations using many fewer emissions. Our experiments used a 128 element 650 kHz image-guided therapy phased array focus ultrasound transducer. We performed our sonications in a graphite agarose phantom within a water tank. We attempted to refocus a digitally programmed phase aberrator pattern in which we took the transducer face and segmented it into 4 logical elements, each logical element containing 32 randomly selected transducer elements on the transducer face. We programmatically added a phase aberration to each one of those logical elements, and the goal of our experiment was to attempt to use our MR-ARFI based techniques to estimate what phase aberration was programmed. In our results, we found that both the canonical single voxel and our proposed multivoxel MR-ARFI based refocusing methods were able to estimate the programmed aberrations. With our multivoxel method, we were additionally able to include an increasing number of aberrated MR-ARFI acquisitions in the least squares fit using known phase and amplitude-based modulations that were derived from the spatially coded emissions. We found that either 2 or 8 acquisitions in the least squares fit provided superior RMSE in estimating the programmed aberrations compared to the canonical single voxel method, which required 4n or 16 acquisitions in total. When looking at the refocused acoustic pressure fields with the correcting aberrations applied, both the single and multivoxel MR-ARFI based refocusing methods were able to refocus a pressure to within 90% of what was achieved free field. The multivoxel method with 2 or 8 acquisitions provided better performance than the single voxel method, which required 16 acquisitions. In conclusion, eliminating the need for CT-based aberration correction would benefit MR-guided focus ultrasound treatment planning. Our multivoxel MR-ARFI based refocusing technique may enable aberration correction with many fewer MR-ARFI measurements than are currently required. In developing MR-ARFI, we have found that we need to account for nonlinearities in the acoustic pressure field, shear wave contamination, noise in the pre-calibrated acoustic pressure fields that are used in the least squares fit, as well as phase instabilities that occur at higher field strengths. please do not hesitate to contact myself or Dr. Grissom if you have any comments or questions about this presentation. Thank you.